guys, the Super Review Show for another episode of Rock Talk. I haven't done one of these in a little while, truthfully, because I've been waiting for some inspiration. I've been waiting to think about what album should I talk about next. And truth be told, I'm here to talk about today about one of Paul McCartney's latest albums. I know when I talked about why you should listen to Paul McCartney and Wings or whatever in Paul McCartney's solo career, this was an album called Egypt Station. And this album I want to talk to you guys about for a little bit. Because this album, I'm listening to it full disclosure. On YouTube, I'm going to leave a link for it as well in the description of this video so you guys can check this out too. But when this album first came out in 2018, they did a full-on SiriusXM walkthrough of Paul McCartney did a walkthrough on SiriusXM's The Beatles channel for this album. So if you want to know more in depth than what I'm talking about in general, you can definitely click on that link in the description below to check it out. But this album was his first number one album since Tug of War in 1982. And that's crazy to believe, but it's the truth. This is the album cover, right? It's called Egypt Station. And I love it, truthfully. I mean, this is the album that got me into McCartney's solo career. Aside from like Pipes of Peace and stuff in the 80s and whatnot, in the 70s too. But this album from start to finish is really great. It's really a fantastic record. I've had friends of mine who I've talked to about this. And I listen to this album from start to finish and it's constantly for days. It's just that good of a record. And despite having so much success with this record, it kind of vanished pretty quick too, unfortunately, because it's unfortunately nowadays albums that are released by older artists like Paul McCartney, Bruce Springsteen, whatever, U2 in general, maybe not U2 to an extent, but somewhat. These albums are forgotten about. Their later albums are forgotten about because their original content is just so good. So let's get into. I wanted to show you. I got this in the mail for free. And it's a fold out like this. Here's the front, and it goes like that. It's a really fun record. And on the back, it gives the lyrics. Egypt Station is the name of his painting. And what I'm showing you is the fold out of his painting that he made. It's really a fun album. I mean, it's a loose concept album. It's not really a full concept album, but Egypt Station. It's about train. The opening instrumental is called Opening Station, and each song is a station on the train ride. He said this on Jimmy Fallon back in 2018 when the album first came out. He said, "I didn't want to do the modern pop album with just a couple of singles and whatnot because Beyonce and Taylor Swift have that kind of thing covered, and they have better legs than him." Fair point, Paul. Fair point. But regardless, though, this album I think is fantastic. Like I'm listening to the song by song breakdown that was recorded for SiriusXM, and I'm like, yeah, this is a really good album. Why did it get forgotten about so quickly? And unfortunately, it's just because I think it's because they get lost in the shuffle. But the songs on this record are great. Everything from the Opening Station, great track. It's an instrumental, but it segues into the album. I Don't Know, a fantastic song about how every day ordinary people getting stressed out. I don't know. And if you listen to the broadcast about what it's in, like I said, it's in the descriptions video. You guys can check it out. It's a brilliant, brilliant, brilliant song. I Don't Know. Come On To Me is a great song about like a raunchy love song. Happy With You. Who Cares? For You. True story. If you listen to For You, you'll never hear Paul McCartney like that again. Because he was in the studio making this album in 2017, 2018. And truth be told, he wanted to have something commercial. He wanted to put something out that was very, very pop-ish, you know. So he got the guy, his name is Ryan Tedder. He's from One Republic. I'm not a big One Republic guy, first and foremost. They're good. They're not great, in my opinion. No, that's just me. But One Republic, he got the lead singer of One Republic, who's also a massive Hollywood producer now, too, for tons of albums and artists. He produced U2 albums, too. He's a really, really wonderful producer, truthfully. He does a lot of good stuff. But he produced the song For You. Now, obviously, I'm trying to make my show as kid-friendly as I can. But For You sounds like you. So, you know, they're not going to say, because the chorus goes, I want it for you, and it sounds like he's saying that, but he's really not. It's called F-U-H, for you. That's all it is. Confident, a love song to the guitar. People want peace, and great song about like the Palestinians and whatnot. It was a little bit of, not political, but it was just a message to people. Hand in Hand, I thought was great. Dominoes, I thought was really good too. Back in Brazil, he wrote about being back in Brazil, literally. Do It Now, Caesar Rock. Despite repeated warnings, it's got a funny story to that. It's without getting political. It's just his notes on certain how world leaders need to step up their game. That's all I'm going to say. Station 2, again, it's the instrumental, and Hunt You, and then it lands on a melody on the last song. It's 6 minutes long and 23 seconds. It's Hunt You Down, Naked, and C-Link. Then the album ends, and truth be told, these albums like this that are new and hot and that come out whenever, people forget how good they're. If you look up the critic rating for this album, it's widely regarded as one of the best albums of that year. And it got so overlooked completely, so just over everything. Not overrated, but it got looked over a lot. And I really wish that it was nominated for a Grammy or two, because there's some really fun songs on here. There's some emotional songs. There's some like personal like favorites of mine of his whole catalog, like Come On To Me and I Don't Know are great tracks. For You, it's just a fun, goofy song. Yes, I said goofy. And mind you, there's actually, take out the 2 opening tracks, there's 14 songs on this album. There's 14 songs on this album. Who would have thought? So, like I said, I'm leaving a link in the description of this video for you guys to check out the overall SiriusXM broadcast that I've been listening to about this album. But honestly, this album, where I would rank this album, I don't normally rank albums on Rock Talk, but I'm going to give this album like a 9 out of 10. It's just that good of a record. It's that good of a modern rock album, and Paul McCartney nailed it. Shame on my part. I have not listened to McCartney 3 yet, which is very unfortunate on my part, I know. But because McCartney 1, 2, 3, whatever, they came out in 2020. But he's still going strong. And one of the reviews said, look, for artists that have been doing it so well since the 50s and 60s, this is truly a treasure. And it really is. So if you haven't heard of Egypt Station, get on it. It's a great album. And if you want to get to know the album more, certain backstories on every song, jump down in the description of this video. You guys can check out the link for this track-by-track talk-through of Paul McCartney. It plays the songs as well on YouTube. It's about an hour and a half long, but it's him talking about each song and how he might be a superstar. Like, oh, I'm Paul McCartney, I'm a superstar. He's really just a normal guy who's making music, truthfully. Those are his words, not mine. So, long story short, what do you guys think? Have you heard Egypt Station? Jump down in the comment section below. Share your thoughts on this. And, like this video, whatever. Subscribe to us as well. But for all of your Rock Talk episodes, keep it locked on the Super Show. The J-Man is off the rock. We'll see you guys later.